Hi, everyone. Welcome to another Community Connections for our July 20th class. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Jeremy Capone. I am the Community Connections Program Coordinator and ELLICSR Kitchen's Wellness Chef as well. So thank you so much for joining us. We have another very exciting session for you today with special guests as well. So before we jump into the kitchen at 12 o'clock, I am honored to throw the presentation over to our friends at Ovarian Cancer Canada for an incredible presentation. So to start things off, we have Marianne Fallis, Program Associate with Ovarian Cancer Canada, and she's going to share some of the amazing resources and programs going on at Ovarian Cancer Canada and what they are doing to help support the needs of people living with ovarian cancer. And then after Marianne, we'll be joined by Dr. Alicia Tone, who's the OVCAN Program Manager and Scientific Advisor with Ovarian Cancer Canada. And she'll be speaking about some of the research progress going on in Ovarian Cancer Canada. So a huge thank you again to both Dr. Alicia Tone and Marianne Fallis, and of course Ovarian Cancer Canada for joining us today. And then after that presentation, we'll take a short break and then jump into the kitchen with Daniela Fredini, our amazing registered dietitian, and we have three incredible recipes to highlight. Plus, we're going to talk a little bit about balanced eating and how we can sort of make different substitutions to meet different fiber restrictions or fiber needs. So looking forward to that as well. Of course, if you have any questions throughout the presentation, feel free to use the chat. We will be monitoring that and responding as the questions come up. Okay, without further ado, I will throw it over to Marianne. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jeremy, for welcoming me here today. I'm Marianne Fallis, a Programs Associate with Ovarian Cancer Canada, and as part of my role on the Ovarian Cancer Canada team is the creation of educational events and support activities and connecting people to information that they are looking for. I appreciate the opportunity to share about Ovarian Cancer Canada today, highlighting a bit about who we are and what we do to support those living with ovarian cancer. As the sole national charity dedicated to overcoming ovarian cancer, we are here to demand action, deliver change, and transform lives. We stand hand in hand with those experiencing, affected by, or at risk of the disease, and will not rest until they are able to live their lives freely, fully, and uninhibited by ovarian cancer. Our vision is a future where ovarian cancer is preventable, curable, and ultimately eradicated. To achieve these goals, we are building research capacity, unlocking insights into rare forms of the disease, addressing urgent needs, and bringing hope and information to people across the country. For the sake of this presentation, I'll share with you the ways in which we can connect you to the expertise and knowledge from scientists and the clinicians who have the most up-to-date information, as well as how we can help you connect and build your supportive community that can provide you some hope and support. To start off, let's look at the opportunities to connect with expertise. Ovarian Cancer Canada offers two comprehensive resource guides to support and inform those who have been diagnosed with ovarian cancer. These resources have been developed with guidance from those experiencing the disease, as well as clinicians and other healthcare providers and experts. These books are an overview of the information that you're probably hearing from your healthcare team when you're meeting with them. During those meetings, you receive a lot of information, and that can be overwhelming. And we're hoping that these resources put that information in your hands in the simplest way possible. Printed and electronic versions of these resources are provided free of charge across Canada and can be requested by going to the Ovarian Cancer Canada website. You can scan the barcode on the side of this screen to take you right to the order form, or you can reach out to me and I can arrange to have it sent to you. And I'll share my contact details with you at the end of this presentation. Currently, there are 2 resource guides available. They're called the By Your Side and the Still By Your Side. When you take a look through these resources, you will find the information organized into the chapters listed on the slide, and it includes information to navigate diagnosis, treatment, side effects, caring for yourself, and moving forward after treatment, along with many more details that you might find helpful along the way. Along with the resource guides, Ovarian Cancer Canada hosts informative virtual events throughout the year called Speaker Series. These free 1-hour-long events are offered throughout the year to share leading insights and resources that are available. Relevant topical information comes directly from thought leaders and experts and are paired with lived experience from people with ovarian cancer. The sessions include time for question and answers with the speakers, allowing you to ask the questions that you're wondering most about. Next is the Ovarian Cancer Canada National Symposium. Like the Speaker Series, National Symposium brings together experts and people with lived experience to share information that is relevant to those living with ovarian cancer, their caregivers, families, and friends. This free virtual event is offered over 2 evenings and shares information on a variety of relevant topics, including research updates, as well as tools you can use to have discussions with your healthcare team. Along with all of this, you're able to connect with community members from across the country. To find upcoming dates, information, and registration for these events, scan the QR code on the screen. Our next National Symposium will actually be coming up this fall on November 7th and 8th, so be sure to check out the Ovarian Cancer Canada website for details as they're available. Or you can send me a message and I'm happy to connect you with the details when they're available. There is also the Ovarian Cancer Canada Research Forum. This is a 3-hour virtual program hosted over 1 evening where you can hear from researchers from across Canada. The researchers share updates on the work that they are doing, purely focused on ovarian cancer. Our last research forum was hosted just over a month ago and shared topics like immunotherapy in ovarian cancer, research models of low-grade serous ovarian cancer developed using patient tissue samples, and how Ovarian Cancer Canada's OVCAN research initiative continues to drive research progress in Canada. Those were all part of the agenda. If you weren't able to join us for this event, don't fret. It was recorded and you can find the sessions in our resource library, which I'll talk about in just a moment. And you'll be hearing from my colleague, Dr. Alicia Tone, in a few moments, who will share some updates and information with you. The sessions that I've just talked about around Speaker Series, Research Forum, or the National Symposium are all recorded and posted to an online resource library so that you're able to watch them at your convenience or rewatch them if you joined us live. To date, there are videos covering a variety of topics from managing the side effects of treatment to navigating the system of care, practical advice for your journey, advocating for the care you deserve, and so much more. There are also tools and resources available that you can use to support conversations with your healthcare team. To help you find what you're looking for, when you head to the website, you're able to search by keyword to find topics that are interest of you, or you can fill out a form outlining what you're looking for, and we'll put together a package of resources for you. I did also want to note that we do have recordings and resources available in both French and English. Now, the second part that what I want to share with you today is going to focus on how Ovarian Cancer Canada can connect you to others and help you build your own community of support. With each of these offerings, you're able to connect with others to both get and give support, and they include OV Dialogue, TLTs, the Ovarian Cancer Peer Support Program, Ovarian Cancer Support Group, and the Ovarian Cancer Circle. To start us off, OV Dialogue is an online community where you can connect with others for advice and encouragement, as well as share your experience to help others. This secure discussion board is moderated by a team of women with ovarian cancer and is available anytime, anywhere. Participants share experience and ask questions on a host of topics, including treatments and side effects, anxiety, coping mechanisms, fear of recurrence, life outside of cancer, and much more. Basically, the sky's the limit. If you have a question, you can ask it on OV Dialogue. You can also take a look at the discussions that are available and sign up to ask your own questions and provide your own experiences for others to gain value from. There are even weekly chats called Teal Thursdays, where you can have an in-the-moment chat and share what's on your mind. If you're looking for something that connects you face-to-face with others, then TLTs are for you. TLT is a monthly drop-in support group hosted by Ovarian Cancer Canada staff, where conversations are guided by those that are on the call. This is a time for connection and conversation where you can share your story and learn from one another and chat about anything you're wondering at the moment. It's a small group gathering and it takes place entirely online, and you can join us for as many as you'd like. Each month, there are 2 offerings you can choose from. You can find details by heading to the Ovarian Cancer Canada's website event page or by scanning the QR code on the slide. In partnership with Wellspring Cancer Support, you can also connect one-on-one with another woman living with ovarian cancer through the Ovarian Cancer Peer Support Program. Whether you're newly diagnosed or living with this disease, you can connect one-on-one by phone or video conference. During that meeting, you'll chat with a peer support volunteer who has experience with ovarian cancer, understands what you're going through, and has been trained to help. While chatting, they may suggest other supportive care programs that may benefit you given your particular needs, interests, and location. This program is available in both French and English. So be sure to reach out if that's something that you would find valuable. The Ovarian Cancer Support Group is a 6-week program that meets virtually once each week under a healthcare professional's leadership to focus on relevant issues such as coping with change, relationship, managing fear or recurrence, and communicating with your healthcare team. This closed group is a safe place for you to share your emotional, social, and practical concerns and hear from others that are facing similar challenges. Next is the Ovarian Cancer Circle Support Group. You're welcome to join this monthly online support group whenever you are able. It's led under the leadership of a healthcare professional and provides a community of support to discuss relevant issues to those on the call. Topics that have come up include things like relationships, sexuality and fertility, and other challenges of living with this disease. You can also join us at the Ovarian Cancer Canada Walk of Hope that for 2023 is coming up on September the 10th. This event is the most powerful of its kind in the country, where those diagnosed, along with friends and family, rally together across the country to bring awareness to this disease and impact change. You can connect in person at a walk in your community, or you can choose to connect online with a virtual walk, wherever is easiest for you. There are opportunities for you to engage in the way that works best for you. Be sure to check out the website and register to participate by scanning the QR code on this slide. We look forward to seeing you on September the 10th. Of course, you can also connect with Ovarian Cancer Canada in a variety of different ways to stay informed about upcoming events and information by signing up for the Seeds of Hope electronic newsletter, or by following us on one of our social media channels, whether that's Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. If you have any questions about the supports, events, or information I've shared today, please reach out to me at any time. I am here to help. At this time, I'd like to pass it over to my colleague, Dr. Alicia Tone, OVCAN Project Manager and Scientific Advisor with Ovarian Cancer Canada.
Hello, and thank you so much for having me here to speak about research progress at Ovarian Cancer Canada. My name is Alicia Tone, and I am the Scientific Advisor at OCC, and I'm very happy to share a brief overview of some of the things that we have been doing. So some of you may have heard of the OVCAN Research Initiative. This is a national research initiative managed by Ovarian Cancer Canada that aims to identify novel treatments for ovarian cancer patients. This is a 5-year initiative spanning from 2019 to 2024. We had a $10 million investment from Health Canada. This was actually matched through investments from the province of Saskatchewan and Nova Scotia, as well as ELLICSR and Cancer Research Society, to bring the total up to close to $14 million. Through this initiative, we have funded 44 projects, including 25 research models of the different types of ovarian cancer that will be helped to make discoveries in the years and decades to come, 13 preclinical studies, and 6 clinical trials, which I will tell you a bit more about later. We've also built a very strong collaborative community of 250 affiliated researchers from across Canada, and we also have a team of around 20 patient partners. So in the past 3+ years, we've accomplished a lot. As mentioned, we have funded 6 transformative clinical trials, 13 preclinical studies, and 25 projects on ovarian cancer model development. We also have expanded tissue banks in Saskatchewan and Nova Scotia. We have funded, at least in part, 75+ research personnel. And really, we've come together in this collaborative pipeline of discovery to unlock new insights and offer women new treatment options. And we've started to become internationally recognized for this leadership. This is just showing a map of Canada, obviously, of some of the faces of the researchers that we are funding across Canada. So we're very happy to be financially supporting researchers from 6 provinces, and we hope to really expand this in the future to be truly pan-Canadian. One important part of OVCAN is that we really want to fund projects that impact women, not just with the most common type of ovarian cancer, high-grade serous, but actually all types of ovarian cancer. So this is just showing the number of projects that we have invested in that touch different types of ovarian cancer. So you will see that we have invested in a lot of the more common types and more rare types, actually, of ovarian cancer in models, preclinical studies, and clinical trials. So when we speak about these research models, this is our first research priority of OVCAN. And it really is based on the principle that to address the most important research questions, we need the right tools. So we need different types of models. They need to be representative of the different types of ovarian cancer, which are truly unique diseases. We need to have information on key molecular features so that scientists can make decisions about which model would work best for their study. And we need information on treatment response. So to date, these funds have contributed to the development of 38 new models and counting, including various tools to study the interaction between cancer cells and their microenvironment, such as the immune system. We've also funded comprehensive profiling of DNA, RNA, and protein, as well as immune cell signatures from previously established gold standard models of various types. And these are leading to novel discoveries already, including a better understanding of what determines response to treatment in a rare type of ovarian cancer called low-grade serous cancer. In terms of priority 2 by the numbers, so one of these projects is actually complete and there are very exciting results pending. This is an ovarian cancer vaccine study out of Quebec. 12 projects are in progress. We've funded 1 new investigator. And the types of projects that were funded include 5 looking at novel immune-based treatments, 5 targeted inhibitors, and 3 novel gene targets. In terms of priority 3, which is our clinical trials, as mentioned, we have 6 funded, 3 are currently open. And as of the end of April, 61 patients had been enrolled to date. So I'm just going to provide you with a very brief overview of the 3 clinical trials that are currently open in case any patients or their families are interested in looking at them. So the first one is through Dr. Diane Provencher and Dr. Helen McKay. So this is a trial looking at a combination of olaparib, which is a PARP inhibitor, and an apoptosis inducer in women with high-grade serous ovarian cancer. So this trial is taking place in Montreal and Toronto with 3 active sites to date, including the CHUM, Princess Margaret Cancer Center, and Sunnybrook Hospital. The first of 30 patients have been enrolled, and the study population includes women with recurrent metastatic high-grade serous cancer who recur greater than 6 months after platinum-based chemotherapy. So I will ensure that I provide the clinicaltrials.gov link to this trial and the 2 that I'm going to tell you about now as well. So the second one is led by Dr. Amit Oza at Princess Margaret Cancer Center, but it's also active at the CHUM in Montreal. This is looking at the impact of a novel inhibitor named CX5461 in patients with mutations in BRCA1 or 2, PALB2, or other homologous recombination deficiency profiles. So 13 patients have been recruited to date as of end of April, and so we are very much looking forward to the results of this trial in due time. The last study that is open right now is called Revolve. This is led by Stephanie LaRue at Princess Margaret Cancer Center. And this one is using real-time assessment of tumor genomics to determine the next course of treatment after progressing on a PARP inhibitor. So this is happening only at Princess Margaret because there are complex logistics of running this trial. As of end of April, 3 patients had been recruited, and patients must be diagnosed with recurrent high-grade serous or high-grade endometrioid ovarian cancer to be eligible. It's also important to note that all of these clinical trials have embedded patient partners who are providing feedback to the study teams on patient-facing materials, recruitment plans, and study design. So a crucial component to the success of our program is our National Patient Partners and Research Program. This was developed by Ovarian Cancer Canada to keep the voices of those with lived experience at the forefront of research. So these are some of the faces of the women here, and you can see the geographic representation. Our PPR team includes a diverse representation of the different ovarian cancer types, age, sexuality, cultural backgrounds, and geography, with each member bringing their own unique perspective as well as their shared experiences as ovarian cancer patients. So we currently have, I believe, 19 members, including 2 patient co-leads, with 6 team members recently featured in our research symposium in June. So I'm not going to go through all of these right now, but I just wanted to show some of the highlights of things that we have achieved in the past 3 years of our patient partner research program. Patients have been involved on funding review panels, in bridging the gap sessions with research trainees, which are essentially informal get to know you sessions with research trainees. And it's really amazing to witness the kind of mutual inspiration that happens there. 7 patient partners are embedded on a clinical trial team. We also have members participating in survivor and trainee sessions at our national research conference. Many were involved in consulting for us on scientific proposals, as well as strategic planning, focus groups, and patient education tools. This is just some of the things that they've been involved in. Outside of OVCAN, we also support tissue banks across the country. So OCC funded tissue banks and biorepositories are in 6 provinces, and these are really accelerating research obviously providing the key materials to really perform true translational research. And we hope to expand this as well, again, to make it a pan-Canadian initiative. So one thing that we also do, besides funding research by scientists across Canada, we also conduct our own patient-informed research. So a notable example of this is the Every Woman Study Canadian edition, which we published last year in Current Oncology. And this included a very comprehensive survey of all ovarian cancer patients across Canada. It was open to all ovarian cancer patients across Canada. We had 557 responses from 11 Canadian provinces and territories. And interestingly, it really revealed differences in the pathway to diagnosis and post-diagnostic care among those with ovarian cancer, with region, initial healthcare provider, specific symptoms, and age playing key roles. We also identified many opportunities to improve both clinical and supportive care of ovarian cancer patients across the country. And we're using these to shape our advocacy priorities going forward. These are just some of the examples of some of the gaps in inequities that we identified in the Every Woman study. In terms of the identity of the first healthcare provider being different between different provinces, as well as whether genetic testing was offered, whether a clinical trial was offered, and the time to diagnosis once someone went to the doctor with their concerns. There were also a lot of things that came up in terms of age at diagnosis, with younger women being less likely to be taken seriously by their healthcare provider and having their tests ordered to investigate symptoms. They were also less likely to be diagnosed within 3 months or be offered genetic testing. Distance outside of province also impacted care, with the distance traveled to either surgery or from a cancer center impacting whether someone was offered a clinical trial or use of different treatments outside of chemotherapy and surgery. We also had some indication that education level impacted whether someone went to the doctor with their concerns. So while we were unable to tease out differences based on other socio-demographic factors, this may have been because we actually had quite a homogeneous population of respondents. So we are working hard right now to really engage a more diverse patient population for our second iteration of the Every Woman study. And we've been consulting with our patient partner team about how we should do this and the kinds of questions we need to ask to really understand the ovarian cancer experience. We also have what's called the State of the Nation Clinical Audit. This is the first of its kind in Canada, and it will address issues of access to, quality of, and inequities in ovarian cancer care in 5 provinces. Dr. Robin Urquhart is leading the design and coordination of this study, and this clinical audit will collect data on incidence, prevalence, staging, and survival to help identify areas where we need to intervene to improve outcomes. And again, it will really inform us about where and how we should be advocating for change in care delivery. So while this is looking at that administrative data, it's a really nice complement to our Every Woman study, which is based on patient responses. So one aspect that we're passionate about at Ovarian Cancer Canada is prevention. So obviously, to prevent ovarian cancer in someone at a high risk, we need to first identify someone at high risk for ovarian cancer. We need to confirm that they are at high risk, and then we need to reduce that risk. So unfortunately, we've identified many gaps in equities along the prevention pathway through speaking with pre-vivors, who are individuals at an increased risk for ovarian cancer based on inheritance of a mutation in a hereditary cancer gene, as well as genetics clinics and gynae surgeons across Canada. I'm not going to go through this in detail, but you can see all the way from pre-test genetic counseling to post-surgical care and follow-up, but that there are both systemic gaps as well as regional differences that we are hoping to address. So a big part of this is our prevention task force, which is basically a collaboration of researchers, clinicians, patients, and pre-vivors across Canada, all dedicated to enhancing and mobilizing prevention research and maximizing the identification of women at increased risk and uptake of risk-reducing surgery to prevent ovarian cancer. So we've come up with a unique model in terms of our collaboration with the research community. So in essence, the researcher develops their study to identify and or address important gaps in the prevention pathway. We bring the patient and pre-vivor voice to the researchers. After the study is done, the researchers report on findings, and we work with them to mobilize this knowledge gained through both education and patient tools, and identification and carrying out of advocacy work. So where we're headed, the next 5 years, we have established a bold plan. We are calling it Beyond OVCAN, and this is really the vision for a sustainable research program at Ovarian Cancer Canada to ensure that the great work that has been initiated through OVCAN, Every Woman Study, Prevention Task Force, etc., continues. So the framework is really innovative, high quality, made in Canada scientific research along the entire ovarian cancer continuum. So that includes prevention, diagnosis, treatment, all the way through survivorship. Big things include the community-informed priorities, collaboration, outweighing competition, the power of the patient voice, continuing to build and distribute our national scientific toolbox, paying attention to the social determinants of health, and investing in the next generation of scientists. So in essence, we are planting the seeds of progress for a hopeful future, whereby we're working towards decreasing incidence of ovarian cancer through prevention, decreasing late diagnosis in terms of really making the diagnostic pathway better for patients and quicker and more efficient, increasing equity in care and research, as well as increasing quality of life. So with that, I'd like to thank our funders, partners, and collaborators. So as mentioned, Health Canada, Government of Saskatchewan and Nova Scotia, ELLICSR and Cancer Research Society. And we'd also, of course, like to thank all of our members of the Research Consortium, our Governing Council, our Prevention Task Force members, and most notably our patient partners in research, many of whom are pictured here. So with that, I will stop and happy to take any questions.
All right. Hello, welcome back. Thank you again to Marianne Fallis and Dr. Alicia Tone from Ovarian Cancer Canada for providing some more information about some of the amazing work going on at Ovarian Cancer Canada. And again, for more information, you can check out, and I put the website in the chat, but just in case you can't see it, the website is ovariancanada.org. So you can go there to find out a little bit more about some of the amazing research and events and resources available. So we are just about to get into the kitchen. We have about 25 minutes. We're going to start at 12 o'clock. So if you are already here, thank you for watching and stay tuned. Daniela and I have some delicious recipes and some amazing nutrition facts and some suggestions and information and tips to share. So stay tuned for our cooking class.